You keep rejecting every man who wants you, the investor said with a smile sharp enough to cut through the ballroom. At some point, Lauren, people are going to assume the problem is you. A few guests laughed. Not loudly, just enough. Lauren Whitmore stood beneath the white lights of the charity gala in a black evening dress, one hand resting against the stem of an untouched champagne glass. 38 years old, chief executive of Whitmore Global, billionaire, powerful enough to move markets before breakfast, and apparently, according to half the room, incapable of choosing a man correctly. Across from her, Harrison Vale still held the small velvet ring box she had just refused. I asked you privately first, he said. Lauren's expression did not change. And I answered privately. You embarrassed me. You proposed to me in front of 300 people after I said no yesterday. The room quieted. Harrison closed the box. You make everything sound like a negotiation. Lauren gave a faint, humorless smile. That is because every man who approaches me eventually starts discussing percentages. A few people looked away. Others smirked. Near the back of the ballroom, Ryan Cole stood beside his 9-year-old daughter, Mia, holding 2 paper plates from the dessert table. Ryan was not an investor. He was not a politician. He was not anyone the room had been trained to notice. He wore a dark suit that fit well enough but had clearly not been tailored for him. He had come because Mia's school music program was one of the evening's beneficiaries. Nothing more. Dad, Mia whispered, why is everyone staring at her? Ryan looked toward Lauren. Because some people confuse being watched with being understood. Mia frowned. That sounds like one of your weird answers. Probably. Then Harrison's voice rose again. You know what your problem is, Lauren? You think nobody is good enough for you. Lauren's jaw tightened. No. I think being persistent after hearing no is not the same as being worthy. The silence that followed was colder than the laughter had been. Ryan turned away, ready to leave the moment alone. That was when one of the donors beside him chuckled. Women like her do not want a man. They want an audience. Ryan said nothing. The donor looked at him. You disagree? Does it matter? You are standing here judging like the rest of us. Ryan looked back toward Lauren. No. I am watching a woman defend a boundary everyone else keeps treating like a challenge. The donor laughed. And what would a man like you know about women like her? Mia immediately stiffened. Ryan did not. Years of being underestimated had taught him that dignity did not require volume. Nothing, he said. I do not know her. Lauren heard that answer. So did Harrison. At least one honest man in the room, Harrison said bitterly. Then he pointed toward Ryan. Since everyone seems to have an opinion, why not ask him? Single father, right? What do you make of a woman who has rejected 5 serious proposals in 3 years? Ryan looked at Lauren. She looked back at him, irritated now, but curious enough not to stop the conversation. I do not make anything of it, Ryan said. Harrison laughed. Come on. Surely you have advice. Lauren lifted one eyebrow. Yes, Mr. Cole. Since apparently my personal life has become tonight's entertainment, what wisdom does a single dad bring to the table? A few guests smiled, expecting him to retreat. Ryan handed Mia his plate. Hold this. Mia whispered, Dad. I am fine. He stepped forward only far enough to be heard. You want advice? Lauren folded her arms. I want to know what you think you see. Ryan nodded slowly. I see a room full of people asking why you keep saying no. The laughter died. He paused. I have a different question. Lauren's expression changed slightly. Which is? Ryan looked directly at her. Calm, without admiration and without fear. When was the last time someone asked what you wanted before telling you what you should want? The ballroom went completely silent. Harrison's face hardened. Mia stopped breathing for a second. Lauren did not move. The question was simple, almost gentle, but it landed somewhere no compliment, proposal, or argument had reached in years. For the first time that night, the billionaire chief executive had no answer. Lauren remained motionless for several seconds after Ryan's question, but the silence around her changed first. The same guests who had been laughing now avoided her eyes. Harrison Vale closed the ring box and slipped it into his jacket, suddenly looking less like a rejected suitor and more like a man who had walked into a conversation he could no longer control. That is a convenient question, he said. Ryan looked at him. It was not for you. A few people shifted uncomfortably. Lauren studied Ryan with a sharper expression now. And what exactly are you implying? Nothing. You asked that in front of 300 people. Because you asked me in front of 300 people. Mia looked up at her father, then at Lauren. The answer was not disrespectful, but it carried a quiet boundary of its own. Lauren was used to men softening their voices around her wealth or sharpening them to compete with it. Ryan did neither. He simply stood there. "So you think I do not know what I want?" Lauren asked. Ryan shook his head. "I think everyone keeps asking why you reject people instead of asking what you are protecting." Harrison gave a bitter laugh. Now he is a psychologist. Ryan ignored him. Lauren did not. "Protecting from what?" she asked. Ryan looked at the velvet box in Harrison's pocket, then at the donor tables, the investors, the executives, the polished smiles. "Maybe from becoming someone else's achievement." The room went still again. Lauren's face changed. "Not much. Just enough for Mia to notice." "Dad," she whispered. Ryan glanced down. "What?" "I think you made her sad." Lauren heard that too. Ryan's expression softened. "That was not my intention." Lauren looked away for the first time. Through the ballroom windows, Boston glittered beneath a cold night sky. She had spent years learning how to read balance sheets, contracts, leverage, and risk. People were harder. Men who approached her rarely arrived empty-handed. One brought merger possibilities. Another wanted access to her board. Harrison had wanted something more subtle, the status of being chosen by the woman nobody else could win. "You really believe every proposal was about me being a prize?" she asked. Ryan answered carefully. "I do not know enough to believe that." "Then why say it?" "Because you looked more relieved when you said no than any of them looked hopeful when they asked." Lauren turned back toward him. That was the second time he had said something nobody in her life would have dared. Not because it was cruel, because it was observant. Harrison stepped forward. "Lauren, this is absurd. You are seriously listening to a stranger who came here for a school fundraiser." Ryan's jaw tightened slightly, but Lauren spoke first. "He came here for his daughter." Harrison frowned. "What difference does that make?" Lauren looked at Mia, who was still holding both dessert plates with great concentration. "Apparently more than you think." Harrison's face hardened. "So this is what happens now? A man asks one clever question, and suddenly he understands you." Lauren's voice cooled. "No. This is what happens when someone asks a question instead of making a claim." Harrison had no answer. He left the circle without another word. Slowly, conversation returned around them. The ballroom began breathing again. Ryan took one plate back from Mia. "You did good. I saved the chocolate cake." "That is what I meant." Lauren almost smiled. Then she caught herself. "Mr. Cole." Ryan turned. "Yes. You still have not answered your own question." "It was not my question to answer." "If it were." Ryan looked at her for a moment. "I would want someone who made my life quieter, not louder." Lauren's expression softened. "That sounds simple." "Simple is underrated." Mia tugged his sleeve. "Dad, we are going to miss the music program." Ryan nodded. "Right." He looked at Lauren. "Good night, Ms. Whitmore." No request for a phone number. No attempt to extend the moment. No invitation. He simply walked away with his daughter. Lauren watched them disappear toward the ballroom doors. Evelyn Price, her longtime assistant, approached beside her. "You are staring." Lauren did not deny it. "Who is he?" Evelyn glanced toward Ryan. "Ryan Cole. Single father. Works in operations for a regional logistics company. Nothing remarkable on paper." Lauren kept watching the door long after it closed. Maybe that is the problem with paper. 3 days passed before Lauren saw Ryan again, and during those 3 days, she found herself returning to his question at inconvenient moments. During a board meeting, in the back seat of her car, at 2 in the morning, while standing barefoot in her kitchen with a glass of water she had forgotten to drink. "What do you want?" It annoyed her because the answer should have been obvious. She wanted independence, control, peace. She wanted to run Whitmore Global without every business magazine turning her personal life into a headline. She wanted men to stop approaching her like winning her affection was another acquisition. Yet beneath all of that was something she had stopped admitting years ago. She wanted to be known without being evaluated. On Thursday afternoon, Evelyn entered Lauren's office carrying a folder. "You asked me to confirm the school partnership details." Lauren looked up too quickly. Evelyn noticed. "The music program?" "Yes. Of course." Evelyn placed the folder on the desk. "The foundation is hosting a volunteer planning session Saturday morning. Ryan Cole is listed as one of the parent coordinators." Lauren pretended to read the first page. "Interesting." Evelyn folded her arms. "You already knew that." "I suspected. You asked me to find out." Lauren looked up. I asked you to confirm. That is billionaire language for find out. Lauren almost smiled. Saturday arrived gray and cold. The community arts center smelled like coffee, old curtains, and fresh paint. Folding tables covered the main room. Parents sorted sheet music, checked donation lists, and argued over whether children needed 3 kinds of juice. Lauren entered without an entourage, wearing dark jeans, a wool coat, and boots instead of heels. The room barely noticed her. Ryan did. He was kneeling beside Mia, near a cardboard box filled with tangled extension cords. That one is broken, Mia said. I know. Then why are you keeping it? Because I am hoping shame will make it functional. Mia looked up and spotted Lauren. Dad. Ryan followed her gaze. His expression shifted from surprise to polite calm. Ms. Whitmore. Lauren approached. Lauren is fine. Mia smiled. Hi, Lauren. Ryan glanced at his daughter. Apparently titles are optional now. I like her, Mia said. You met her once. I make fast decisions. Lauren laughed before she could stop herself. Ryan stood. What brings you here? The foundation. On a Saturday? I am capable of Saturdays. I was not sure chief executives were allowed. Only under supervision. Mia pointed at a stack of programs. You can help me fold these. Lauren looked at Ryan. Am I being assigned labor? You can say no. Something about the way he said it made her pause. No pressure. No performance. No hidden cost. Lauren removed her coat and sat beside Mia. For the next hour, nobody treated her like the most powerful person in the room. One parent asked her to move chairs. Another handed her a stapler. A volunteer spilled coffee near her sleeve and apologized once instead of 10 times. Lauren found herself strangely relaxed. Ryan moved between tables, solving small problems without taking credit for any of them. A missing cable. A confused parent. A child who had forgotten where to stand. He never raised his voice. Never rushed. People simply trusted him. You do this often? Lauren asked when they ended up beside the refreshment table. Parent stuff? Helping everyone without looking annoyed. Ryan poured coffee into a paper cup. I am annoyed constantly. You hide it well. Single parent survival skill. Lauren looked toward Mia, who was laughing with 2 other children near the stage. Her mother? Ryan's expression changed, but he did not close off. Died 5 years ago. Lauren's voice softened. I am sorry. Thank you. No dramatic pause. No attempt to turn grief into intimacy. Just truth. Lauren looked down at her coffee. Was she the reason you know so much about what people want? Ryan considered that. Partly. What is the other part? Losing someone teaches you how much time people waste pretending. Lauren looked at him. Pretending what? That status matters more than kindness. That being needed is the same as being loved. That staying in the wrong relationship is better than admitting you are lonely. The last sentence landed too close. Lauren's eyes narrowed. You enjoy asking dangerous questions. Ryan smiled faintly. I did not ask anything. You implied plenty. Fair. Across the room, Mia waved frantically. Dad, come here. Ryan started toward her, then stopped. You coming? Lauren hesitated. Do you want me to? Ryan looked at her as though the answer was simple. I asked, did I not? She followed him. Mia held up a badly painted cardboard sign that read Family Music Night. We need someone tall to hang this. Ryan looked at Lauren. That rules both of us out. Lauren stared at him. You are 6 feet tall. I was protecting your feelings. She laughed again, louder this time. Several parents turned. Lauren did not care. For the first time in years, she was not performing confidence. She was simply having a good morning. Later, while Ryan carried boxes to his car, Evelyn called. How is the volunteer session? Lauren watched Ryan help Mia into the passenger seat, then walked back to return a forgotten marker to another child. Different. Useful. Lauren smiled. Very. Did Mr. Cole say anything profound? Lauren looked toward him. No, Evelyn sounded surprised. Nothing. That might be why I stayed. Ryan returned and held up her wool coat. You forgot this. Lauren took it. Thank you. See you around. He turned toward his truck. Ryan. He looked back. Lauren hesitated, then asked the question she had spent 3 days avoiding. What did you want after your wife died? Ryan's face grew quiet. At first, yes. He glanced toward Mia through the windshield. For the pain to stop. Lauren waited. And later, Ryan looked at her. A life I did not have to escape from. Then he got into the truck and drove away, leaving Lauren alone beneath the gray Saturday sky, with the uncomfortable realization that she had spent years building exactly that kind of life for everyone except herself. By Wednesday evening, Lauren had begun noticing patterns she had trained herself not to see. A vice president stopped by her office with flowers and somehow turned the conversation toward a promotion. A venture capitalist invited her to dinner and mentioned a partnership before the appetizers were discussed. Even Harrison sent a handwritten apology that ended with 3 paragraphs about how powerful their combined networks could be. Lauren placed the letter in a drawer without finishing it. Evelyn watched from across the office. "You are doing it again." "Doing what?" "Comparing everyone to Ryan Cole." Lauren looked up sharply. "I am not comparing anyone." Evelyn smiled. "Of course not." Lauren leaned back in her chair. "He is a parent coordinator at a school program." "Who asked you one question?" "One irritating question that you have been thinking about for a week." Lauren did not answer. Her phone buzzed. A message from the Community Arts Center announced that several volunteers were needed Friday evening to prepare the auditorium. Before she could overthink it, Lauren typed that she would help. Evelyn raised an eyebrow. "Very charitable. Do not start." Friday night smelled like sawdust, pizza, and tempera paint. Ryan was standing on a short ladder hanging paper stars above the stage, while Mia sat on the floor labeling music folders. Lauren arrived carrying 2 boxes of donated supplies. Ryan looked down. "You again. Try to contain your excitement." "I am doing my best." Mia waved. "Lauren, you can sit with me." Ryan climbed down. "She is the chief executive of a global company." Mia shrugged. "Can she use markers?" Lauren set down the boxes. "At an executive level." For the next hour, she sorted folders, taped signs, and listened to Mia explain why purple markers were superior to blue ones. Ryan worked nearby, occasionally correcting his daughter, occasionally being corrected by her. It was ordinary in a way Lauren had almost forgotten existed. No one asked about Whitmore Global. No one mentioned her net worth. Nobody adjusted their behavior when she entered the room. At one point, Ryan handed her a slice of pepperoni pizza on a paper plate. "Dinner." Lauren stared at it. "You are serving a billionaire cafeteria pizza? I can remove the pepperoni if that improves the experience." She laughed. "You really are unimpressed by me." Ryan leaned against the edge of the stage. "That is not true." Lauren looked at him. "What impresses you?" He glanced toward Mia. "People who show up when they do not have to." The answer quieted her. "That is all." "That is a lot." Lauren looked down at the pizza. "Most men I meet want to impress me. Maybe they think they have to." "Do you?" Ryan shook his head. "No, why?" "Because if you only like me when I am performing, then eventually one of us gets tired." Lauren studied him. "You make relationships sound like operations management. Occupational hazard. And what exactly do you do in operations?" "Keep trucks moving, warehouses organized, and people from blaming each other when something goes wrong." "Sounds glamorous." "You would be amazed by the emotional intensity of a late produce shipment." She smiled, then noticed the worn edge of his watch and the small stain of paint on his sleeve. There was nothing polished about him, nothing calculated. That should have made him easy to dismiss. Instead, it made him difficult to forget. Mia approached carrying a paper star. "Dad, this one keeps falling." Ryan examined the tape. "Too much paint. Can you fix it?" "Probably." Lauren watched him crouch beside his daughter, giving a paper decoration the same patient attention executives gave million-dollar contracts. Something inside her shifted again. Later, as volunteers began leaving, Lauren found Ryan loading folding chairs into a storage room. "Can I ask you something?" she said. "You usually do. If someone offered you a better job, more money, more status, would you take it?" Ryan paused. "Depends." "On what?" "Whether better on paper made my life worse in reality." Lauren folded her arms. "You really think that way?" "I had a job once that paid almost twice what I make now." "What happened?" He looked through the open door toward Mia, who was putting on her coat. "I missed too many dinners." Lauren waited. "So I left." "Just like that." "Not just like that. It was terrifying." He smiled faintly. "But Mia was 8. I figured I would rather disappoint my resume than my daughter." Lauren felt the answer settle somewhere deep. For years, every man around her had measured success by what he could gain. Ryan Cole seemed to measure it by what he refused to lose. The next week, Lauren did something Ryan had not expected. She invited him to lunch at Whitmore Global. Not dinner, not a gala, not anywhere private enough to feel like a date. Just lunch. "There is a cafeteria on the 32nd floor," she said over the phone. You have a cafeteria? Ryan asked. Yes. Do billionaires eat there? Occasionally. Then I should probably bring protective equipment. Lauren smiled despite herself. Thursday at noon. Ryan arrived 6 minutes early wearing a navy button-down shirt and the same watch she had noticed at the Arts Center. The lobby was all glass, stone, and quiet efficiency. Employees crossed polished floors with tablets and coffee cups, and more than one person looked twice when Lauren came downstairs herself to meet him. You could have sent someone, Ryan said. I know. That means something, does it not? Lauren looked at him. Do not analyze me before lunch. Fair. They took the elevator upstairs. Evelyn was waiting near the cafeteria entrance with the expression of someone enjoying a secret far too much. Mr. Cole. Miss Price. Lauren has been unusually interested in cafeteria logistics today. Lauren gave her assistant a warning look. Evelyn walked away smiling. Ryan leaned closer. Should I be afraid? Constantly. They chose a small table beside the windows overlooking the city. Lauren had spent years having meals where every chair carried an agenda. This felt different before either of them even spoke. Ryan opened a paper napkin. So why am I here? Lauren looked at him directly. I wanted to see you. Ryan paused. No joke this time. All right. That is all you were going to say? You said you wanted to see me. I am here. Lauren laughed softly. You make everything sound simple. You make simple things sound suspicious. She looked down at her salad. Maybe they usually are. Ryan waited. Lauren took a breath. I have been thinking about what you said. About choosing a life that looks worse on paper but feels better in reality. Dangerous habit. Thinking. Listening to me. She smiled. Then her expression grew serious. Whitmore Global is opening a new distribution division. We need someone to oversee regional operations. Ryan immediately understood where the conversation was going. Lauren, the compensation would be significantly higher than what you make now. I figured. Better benefits. Executive track. Equity after 2 years. Ryan leaned back. Did Evelyn help design this? No good. I would hate to blame her. Lauren frowned. You have not even heard the full offer. I do not need to. Why? Ryan looked through the windows at the city far below. Because I know what happens when a job starts owning the hours my daughter needs. This position could be structured differently. Could it? Yes. No late nights. Lauren hesitated. Not regularly. No emergency travel? Some. No weekend calls. She did not answer. Ryan smiled gently. There it is. Lauren's expression tightened. You are rejecting an opportunity most people would fight for. Most people are not raising Mia. You could give her more. Ryan's eyes changed. Not angry. Just serious. More what? Lauren opened her mouth, then stopped. Ryan continued quietly. Bigger house. Better vacations? A newer car. Security. She already feels secure. That answer landed harder than Lauren expected. Money matters, Ryan. I know. I am not romanticizing being broke. I pay my bills. Mia has what she needs. I save what I can. He folded his hands on the table. But I have already learned the expensive lesson that time is something money cannot replace later. Lauren stared at him. So you are saying no. I am saying thank you. That is still no. Yes. She looked away toward the skyline. The rejection should have irritated her. Instead, something unfamiliar moved beneath it. Respect. Almost relief. Ryan studied her. Why did you really offer me the job? Lauren's eyes returned to his. Because you are qualified. That is one reason. Because I thought it could help you. Second reason. She frowned. How many reasons are you expecting? One more. Lauren became still. Ryan waited without rescuing her from the silence. Finally, she said. Because if you worked here, I would see you more. The admission hung between them. Ryan did not smile triumphantly. He did not make the moment larger than it was. You could have just asked me to lunch again. Lauren stared at him. That is your response. You offered me an executive position because asking a man to lunch twice felt too vulnerable. She looked offended for half a second, then laughed despite herself. That sounds terrible when you say it out loud. Most honest things do at first. Her laughter faded into something softer. Then I am asking. Ryan leaned forward slightly. Asking what? Lauren held his gaze. Would you have lunch with me again if there were no job attached? Ryan smiled. Yes. Why? Because I like talking to you. The answer was so plain that Lauren almost did not know what to do with it. No strategy. No leverage. No hidden exchange. Just choice. Then Evelyn appeared several tables away, holding a tablet and looking unusually tense. Lauren noticed immediately. What happened? Evelyn approached. We have a problem. She lowered her voice. Someone leaked photographs from the gala and the volunteer center. A business site is running a story suggesting Ryan is using his connection to you for a position at Whitmore Global. Lauren went completely still. Ryan did not. He looked at the screen once, then back at her. Well, he said quietly, I suppose that answers why the lunch invitation felt expensive. Lauren stared at the article on Evelyn's tablet while the city moved quietly beyond the windows. The headline was worse than she expected. It suggested Ryan had positioned himself near her foundation events, used his daughter's school connection to gain access, and was now being considered for an executive role at Whitmore Global. None of it was technically proven. That was what made it dangerous. Who published this? Lauren asked. Market Ledger, Evelyn said. They are quoting an unnamed source inside the company. Ryan looked at the screen again. That is convenient. Lauren stood. I will have legal respond. Do not. She turned toward him. Excuse me. Ryan remained seated, calm enough to irritate her. If you send lawyers after them immediately, it becomes a bigger story. They are lying about you. They are speculating about me. They are questioning your character. People I do not know. Lauren stared at him. That does not bother you. It bothers me that Mia might see it. The answer stopped her. Ryan took out his phone. I need to call her school before somebody decides children need journalism. Evelyn looked at Lauren. We should prepare a statement. Lauren nodded. State clearly that Ryan was never hired, never promised a position, and declined the offer before the article appeared. Ryan looked up. You do not have to mention that. Lauren's expression hardened. Yes, I do. Why? Because the truth matters. The truth matters even if nobody applauds it. That sounds like something you tell Mia. Frequently. Lauren folded her arms. Then let me tell the truth my way. Ryan studied her for a moment. All right. Within an hour, the story had spread across business sites and social media. Photographs from the gala appeared beside pictures of Ryan carrying boxes at the arts center. One caption called him a mysterious single father with sudden access to one of the most powerful women in Boston. Another questioned whether his ordinary logistics job had been part of a calculated image. Lauren read 3 comments before shutting the screen. People are awful, she muttered. Evelyn looked at her. People are bored. Ryan returned from the hallway after speaking with Mia's school. She is fine. Does she know? Lauren asked. Not yet. And when she does? I tell her the truth. Lauren paced toward the windows. I can fix this. Ryan's expression changed. There it is. She turned. There what is? Your instinct. To protect someone? To control the outcome. Lauren went still. Those are not the same thing. Sometimes they look similar. So what would you have me do? Sit here while strangers accuse you of using me. Ryan stood. No. Correct the facts. And then live. She gave a disbelieving laugh. You really think it is that easy? No, his voice softened. I think it is that necessary. Lauren looked at him. Ryan continued. You have spent years letting other people's expectations decide what deserves your attention. Men proposing because they think you should want marriage. Investors asking what kind of life fits your position. Reporters deciding who deserves access to you. He nodded toward the tablet. Do not let this become another version of the same thing. Lauren's anger faded into something quieter. They are making you look opportunistic. I know who I am. I know who you are too. Ryan looked at her. The sentence had come out faster than she intended. Evelyn quietly stepped away from the table, suddenly very interested in a message on her phone. Lauren took a breath. I know enough. Ryan smiled faintly. Dangerous territory. You keep saying that. Because you keep walking into it. For the first time since seeing the article, Lauren smiled. Then Evelyn's phone rang. She answered, listened, and her face changed. Lauren. What? We found the source. Lauren's expression sharpened. Who? Evelyn hesitated. Harrison Vale's public relations consultant. Silence settled over the table. Ryan exhaled slowly. That tracks. Lauren's jaw tightened. He did this because I rejected him. Probably. And because you embarrassed him. Ryan shook his head. He embarrassed himself. Lauren looked at Evelyn. Schedule a press briefing. Ryan frowned. Lauren. Not about him. Her voice was calm now. About me. 30 minutes later, Lauren stood in Whitmore Global's media room before a dozen reporters and cameras. Ryan watched from the back beside Evelyn, deliberately outside the frame. Mr. Cole did not seek employment from Whitmore Global, Lawrence said. I approached him. He declined the position because it conflicted with the life he has chosen for his daughter. Several reporters began raising hands. Lauren continued. More importantly, his relationship with my foundation began through his daughter's school. Any suggestion that he engineered access to me is false. A reporter called out, Are you romantically involved? The room shifted. Lauren could have denied it, could have protected herself with the safe answer. Instead, she paused. That question assumes my private life belongs to the market. Nobody spoke. It does not. Ryan looked down, almost smiling. Lauren stepped away from the podium without taking another question. Back in the hallway, she found him waiting. Too much, she asked. No, too little. No, Lauren looked at him. Then what? Ryan held her gaze. You finally answered your own question. She frowned. Which one? What do you want? Lauren became still. And what did I answer? Ryan nodded toward the closed media room. That you want your choices to belong to you. For a long moment, neither moved. Then Lauren smiled, tired but real. Maybe I am learning. Ryan's expression softened. Maybe. She looked toward the elevators. Are you leaving? I need to pick up Mia. Lauren nodded, but something in her face changed. Ryan noticed. What? Nothing. Lauren. She looked at him. I was wondering if scandals scare you away. Ryan smiled faintly. Depends on the scandal. This one. He pressed the elevator button. Not even close. The doors opened. Ryan stepped inside, then turned back. Lunch next week. Lauren stared at him. You are asking? Apparently that is how normal people do it. She laughed. Tuesday. Noon. No job offer attached. Good. The elevator doors closed between them, and Lauren stood in the quiet hallway realizing something had shifted again. For years, every crisis had taught her to tighten her grip. This one had taught her something else. Trust was not controlling who stayed. It was giving them every reason to leave and discovering they chose not to. Tuesday arrived without cameras, statements, or headlines. Lauren chose a small restaurant several blocks from Whitmore Global where the tables were close together and nobody seemed interested in who she was. Ryan arrived carrying a paper bag. What is that? She asked. Emergency backup. For lunch. Mia made cookies. Lauren looked at the bag. You brought homemade cookies to a restaurant? She said you might need them. Why would I need cookies? Ryan sat across from her. Apparently billionaires have stressful Tuesdays. Lauren smiled. Your daughter has strong opinions. You have no idea. They ordered sandwiches and coffee. No assistant. No business proposal. No hidden agenda. For nearly an hour, Lauren talked about things she had not expected to say aloud. Her first apartment after college. The year her father nearly lost Whitmore Global. The panic she felt the morning she became chief executive. Ryan listened without interrupting unless she asked him something. That alone felt unusual. You are very quiet, she said eventually. You are talking. Most men use pauses to prepare their next impressive sentence. I am preparing to eat this sandwich. Lauren laughed. The sound came easily now. Ryan looked at her for a moment. You seem different. From the gala? Yes. Less terrifying? I was going to say less guarded. Lauren looked down at her coffee. Maybe I am tired. Of what? Always knowing why someone is in the room. Ryan leaned back. You know why I am here. Lauren looked at him. Do I? You asked me to lunch. That explains why I am here. Fair. She waited. Ryan smiled faintly. I am here because I wanted to see you. The simplicity of it made her quiet. No qualifications. No calculation. Just choice. You could want something from me, she said. I do. Lauren's expression changed. What? Another cookie. She stared at him, then laughed so loudly the couple at the next table glanced over. Ryan opened the paper bag. Mia predicted this. He handed her one wrapped in wax paper. Lauren took it. You are impossible. I have references. Later that afternoon, Lauren returned to the office and found Evelyn waiting with two envelopes. One is from legal, Evelyn said. The other is personal. Lauren opened the legal envelope first. Harrison Vale's public relations consultant had issued a formal correction regarding the false implication that Ryan had pursued employment through Lauren. The second envelope was from Harrison himself. Lauren read only the first line before setting it down. Another apology? Evelyn asked. Something like one. Are you going to answer? Lauren shook her head. No, Evelyn studied her. That is new. What is? You used to explain yourself to everyone. Lauren looked toward the windows. Someone pointed out that my choices do not belong to the market. Evelyn smiled. I wonder who. That evening, Ryan picked Mia up from rehearsal at the community arts center. She climbed into the truck and immediately asked, "Did Lauren like the cookies?" Ryan started the engine. She ate one. That is not an answer. She liked them. Mia smiled with satisfaction. Good. Ryan glanced at her. Why are you so invested in this? Mia looked out the window. Because you smile more. His hand paused on the gear shift. I smile. Not like that. Ryan was quiet. Mia continued. Mom would not be mad. Ryan looked at her quickly. I know. Do you? The question was gentle, but it landed harder than Lauren's had. Ryan pulled into an empty space at the edge of the parking lot and turned off the engine. For 5 years, he had built his life around keeping Mia safe, stable, and certain that nothing could replace her mother. Somewhere along the way, he had begun treating his own happiness as though it might dishonor the woman they had lost. Sometimes, he said slowly, loving someone who is gone makes you afraid that loving someone new means leaving them behind. Mia looked at him. That does not make sense. Ryan smiled sadly. No, it does not. I still love Mom. Me too. And I like Lauren. I noticed. Mia shrugged. See? Both. Ryan looked through the windshield at the empty playground across the street. Children understood some truths before adults learned how to stop complicating them. Both, he repeated. Mia nodded. Also, Lauren needs better cookies. Ryan laughed. Do not insult your own baking. I am being honest. 3 days later, Lauren attended Mia's family music night. She sat in the second row beside Ryan, wearing a simple blue sweater instead of anything that belonged in a boardroom. When Mia stepped onto the stage with the other children, she spotted them immediately. Her smile widened. Lauren leaned toward Ryan. She is looking at you. She always checks. To make sure you came? Yes. Lauren watched Mia lift her violin. That must feel good. Ryan looked at her. It feels like responsibility. Not love. Both. Lauren smiled at the familiar word. After the performance, Mia ran toward them holding a paper certificate. I did not mess up the second song. Ryan hugged her. I know. Mia turned to Lauren. Did you hear the part where I almost did? Lauren crouched slightly. I heard the part where you kept going. Mia studied her seriously. That is a good answer. Ryan sighed. Please stop evaluating people. I learned from you. Lauren laughed. Outside, parents gathered beneath the warm lights near the entrance. Mia ran ahead to show a friend her certificate. Lauren and Ryan walked more slowly. She is wonderful, Lauren said. She gets it from her mother. The words no longer broke his voice, but Lauren heard the tenderness in them. You still love her. Ryan nodded. Always. Lauren looked ahead. Does that leave room for anyone else? He stopped walking. Lauren immediately regretted the question. You do not have to answer. Ryan looked toward Mia, then back at Lauren. I used to think it did not. Lauren held his gaze. And now? His expression softened. Now I think love is not a room with one chair. The evening noise seemed to fade around them. Lauren took a slow breath. That sounds dangerously hopeful for you. I have been spending time with someone who asks difficult questions. Poor man. Ryan smiled. Then his phone rang. He glanced at the screen, and the warmth in his face disappeared. What is it? Lauren asked. Ryan answered, listened for several seconds, then said, I understand. I will be there tomorrow. He ended the call. Ryan. He looked at Mia across the courtyard. My company is restructuring. Lauren's stomach tightened. Your job. They are eliminating my division. You are being laid off? Looks that way. Lauren immediately said, I can help. Ryan looked at her. She heard herself and stopped. The old instinct. Fix it. Control it. Make the problem disappear. Lauren swallowed. No. Let me try again. Ryan waited. She looked directly at him. What do you need? He went completely still. Months earlier, one question from him had silenced an entire ballroom. Now Lauren had finally learned how to ask one of her own. Ryan looked at her for a long moment, then answered quietly. Tonight. Tonight. He glanced toward Mia. Just stay until she finishes saying goodbye to her friends. Lauren nodded. Okay. No offer. No solution. No rescue. She simply stood beside him beneath the school lights while his daughter laughed across the courtyard. And for Ryan Cole, who had spent years believing strength meant carrying every problem alone, that quiet presence changed something too. The next morning, Ryan sat in a conference room with 6 other managers while a human resources director explained the restructuring in careful language designed to make loss sound efficient. Regional operations would be consolidated. Positions would be eliminated. Severance packages would be available. Ryan listened without interrupting. He had survived enough hard seasons to know that panic rarely improved a decision. When the meeting ended, he carried a cardboard box to his truck containing 3 framed photographs, a coffee mug Mia had painted when she was 6, and a small desk calendar already filled with school events he would no longer need to work around. His phone buzzed before he started the engine. Lauren. He looked at the screen for several seconds before answering. How bad? She asked. I have experienced better Fridays. Are you alone? In the parking lot. Do you want company? Ryan almost said no automatically. Then he remembered the night before. What do you need? He looked at the cardboard box beside him. Maybe coffee. That I can do. 30 minutes later, Lauren arrived at a small diner near the distribution center wearing a dark coat and no visible sign that she ran a global corporation. Ryan was already in a booth near the window. You came yourself, he said. You sound surprised. You have people for things. Lauren sat across from him. Not for this. A waitress poured coffee and walked away. Lauren looked at Ryan carefully. Are you okay? Eventually. That is not today. No, Ryan wrapped both hands around the mug. Today I am unemployed. Lauren hesitated. I know 3 companies looking for operations executives. Ryan looked up. She stopped immediately. Sorry. You are improving. Painfully. He smiled faintly. I know you want to help. I do. Then let me be frustrated before we turn me into a project. Lauren nodded. Fair. For several minutes they sat quietly. No strategy. No networking. No solution. Ryan finally said. The strange part is that I did everything right. What do you mean? I took the lower-paying job because the hours worked for Mia. I showed up, hit targets, stayed late when I absolutely had to, never missed one of her school events unless there was no choice. He looked down at the coffee, and they still eliminated the position. Lauren understood more than he expected. Doing everything right does not guarantee control. Ryan glanced at her. That sounds suspiciously like something I would say. You are a terrible influence. He laughed once, then became quiet again. Mia is going to worry. About money? About me. Lauren frowned. Why? Kids notice when their parents are scared. Are you scared? Ryan looked directly at her. Yes. The honesty changed the air between them. Lauren had watched powerful men pretend certainty through bankruptcies, lawsuits, and failed acquisitions. Ryan did not hide fear behind pride. He simply refused to let fear decide for him. Thank you for saying that, she said. Why? Because you usually make strength look effortless. Ryan shook his head. That is not strength. That is editing. Lauren smiled softly. Later that afternoon, Ryan told Mia at their kitchen table. She listened without interrupting, her hands wrapped around a glass of milk. Are we moving? She asked. No. Are we poor? No. Are you going away for work? Ryan paused. I do not know what the next job looks like yet. Mia stared at him. Do you want one like the old job? Mostly. Then get one like the old job. Ryan smiled. Excellent career advice. I am serious. I know. Mia looked toward the refrigerator where her music night certificate hung beneath a magnet. Lauren could give you a job. Ryan's expression changed. She offered before. And you said no. Yes. Because of me? Because of us. Mia considered that. Would you say no again? Ryan leaned back. If the job asked me to disappear from your life, yes. Mia nodded as though that settled everything. Then find one that does not. The following week, Ryan treated unemployment like work. He updated his resume after breakfast, made calls until noon, picked Mia up from school, and spent evenings reviewing listings. Lauren did not send recruiters without permission. She did not create a position for him. She did not mention money. Instead, she sent one text each morning. How are you today? Some days Ryan answered, fine. Some days, frustrated. One morning he wrote, scared. Lauren responded only, I am here. 2 weeks later, Ryan received an offer from a mid-sized food distribution company outside Boston. Regional operations director. Slightly better salary than his old job. No overnight travel except emergencies. Flexible school pickup twice a week. He read the offer 3 times before calling Lauren. You sound strange, she said. I got a job. There was a pause. Then genuine happiness entered her voice. Ryan, that is wonderful. You are not disappointed I did not take yours. No, not even a little. Maybe one selfish percent. He laughed. Honest. You taught me. That evening, the three of them met at the Community Arts Center after Mia's rehearsal. Lauren brought cupcakes. Mia held up one with blue frosting. To Dad having employment again. Ryan looked at Lauren. You told her? She called me. You two have a communication channel? Mia smiled. Classified. Ryan shook his head. After Mia went inside to retrieve her violin, Lauren and Ryan stood alone beneath the covered entrance. Rain tapped softly against the sidewalk. I am proud of you, Lauren said. Ryan looked uncomfortable. For getting hired? For not letting fear make the decision. He studied her. You really did not try to fix it. It was extremely difficult. I noticed. Lauren smiled. I wanted to call 6 people. Only 6. I showed restraint. Ryan laughed, then became quiet. Thank you. For what? For staying close without taking over. The words meant more than the job. Lauren knew it. She stepped nearer, but not enough to turn the moment into something neither had chosen yet. Ryan. Yeah. I think I finally know what I want. His expression changed. That sounds dangerous. Very. Are you going to tell me? Lauren looked toward the glass doors where Mia was coming back down the hallway. Not yet. Ryan raised an eyebrow. You are learning suspense now. Apparently. Mia pushed through the doors holding her violin case. Why are you both being weird? Ryan looked at Lauren. Your friend is refusing to answer a question. Mia shrugged. Good. You make people do that all the time. Lauren laughed. Ryan opened the truck door for his daughter, then turned back. Saturday, he asked. What about it? Dinner. No foundation. No volunteer work. No business excuse. Lauren's eyes softened. Are you asking me on a date? Ryan considered the word. Yes. Then yes. Mia leaned across the passenger seat and shouted, finally. Ryan closed his eyes. Lauren laughed so hard she had to look away. And standing there beneath the rain, with no contract, no headline, and no advantage left to negotiate, Lauren realized the answer she had been searching for was becoming simple. She did not want a man who could improve her image, expand her network, or complete a version of life other people admired. She wanted the man who had taught her that a choice only mattered when it was truly hers. Saturday evening arrived without chandeliers, reporters, or anyone waiting to judge what Lauren Whitmore chose. Ryan picked a small Italian restaurant in Cambridge where the tables were close together, the walls were covered with old photographs, and the owner seemed more concerned about whether people finished their pasta than who they were. Lauren arrived 5 minutes early. Ryan was already there. You beat me, she said. Single fathers learn to arrive before parking becomes a problem. She sat across from him. No business proposal? None. No foundation event. No child hiding nearby to evaluate us. Ryan glanced toward the entrance. Mia is with my sister. Lauren smiled. Then this is dangerous. You keep saying that. You keep giving me reasons. Dinner was ordinary in the best possible way. They talked about books, terrible television, Mia's music practice, Lauren's habit of answering emails after midnight, and Ryan's new job. Nobody asked about net worth. Nobody discussed headlines. At one point, Lauren looked around the crowded room and realized no one was watching her. For years, she had believed privacy required walls, security, and control. Tonight, it was simply 2 people eating pasta while strangers minded their own business. You said you knew what you wanted, Ryan reminded her. Lauren set down her fork. I do. He waited. No pressure. No rescue from the silence. Just space. Lauren looked at him carefully. I want a life where I do not have to wonder whether someone is standing beside me because of what I own. Ryan nodded. Reasonable. I want someone who tells me the truth even when I do not like it. Less reasonable. She laughed. And I want to stop treating vulnerability like bad management. Ryan smiled faintly. That one might take practice. Lauren's expression softened. I want you. The words were quiet. No ballroom. No applause. Ryan did not answer immediately, and for 1 second the old fear returned. Then he reached across the table and rested his hand over hers. That is good, he said. Because I want you too. Lauren laughed through sudden tears. That is your grand response. You said you wanted honesty. I did. Then there it is. They did not rush anything after that. Weeks became months. Lauren learned which mornings Ryan needed quiet before coffee. Ryan learned that Lauren could negotiate a billion-dollar acquisition without blinking, but became irrational when Mia had a fever. Mia learned that having Lauren around did not mean replacing her mother. Lauren learned that loving Ryan did not require entering every problem with a solution. Harrison disappeared from their lives except for an occasional business headline. The scandal faded because scandals usually do when people stop feeding them. Ryan settled into his new position and protected the school pickups he had negotiated from the beginning. Lauren began leaving Whitmore Global before dark twice a week. Evelyn claimed it was the most revolutionary policy change in company history. 6 months after their first dinner, the three of them returned to the Community Arts Center for another family music night. Mia played violin beneath the same paper stars Ryan and Lauren had once hung together. When the final song ended, she ran toward them holding her instrument case. "Did I rush the ending?" Ryan said. "A little." Lauren said, "I thought it was perfect." Mia looked between them. "Dad is more useful." Lauren placed a hand over her heart. "Brutal." Outside, beneath the warm lights near the entrance, Mia ran ahead to join friends. Lauren and Ryan walked behind her. "Do you remember the first question you asked me?" Lauren said. "Unfortunately, it annoyed me for weeks. That was not the goal. It changed everything anyway." Ryan looked at her. "What do you want now?" Lauren smiled. This time she did not hesitate. "This." She gestured toward Mia laughing across the courtyard, toward Ryan beside her, toward an ordinary evening nobody would ever put on a magazine cover. Not the version people expect. Not the impressive version. This one. Ryan nodded slowly. "Good answer." Lauren slipped her hand into his. "I learned from someone irritating. I have references." She laughed. And as they walked toward Mia together, there was no stunned ballroom, no public victory, no man proving he had won the woman everyone else failed to win. That had never been the point. Lauren had spent years rejecting men because too many of them arrived with an answer before asking what she wanted. Ryan changed her life because he did something quieter. He asked. Then he listened. And when she finally chose, he respected the choice enough to let it belong entirely to her.